Hello and welcome to your English language class. Today in this class we'll be taking up the question answers and book exercise of the poem Sands of Dee written by Charles Kingsley. So the first question is, what did the creeping western tide turn into? So the answer would be, the creeping western tide turned into the rolling mist that hid the land. Okay. Second question is, how did the boatman realize Mary had been lost at sea? So the answer would be, the boatmen had gone for fishing in the river Dee. Suddenly they saw a tress of golden hair floating in the water. When they pulled up their net, they realized that these were some drowned maiden's hair. Later on, they came to know that it was Mary who had been lost at sea. Okay. Third question is, why is the foam called cruel, hungry and crawling? So the answer would be, the foam is called cruel, hungry and crawling because the foam was responsible for drowning Mary. She was just an innocent young girl who had gone near the shore to bring home the cattle that had gone grazing. Fourth question is, where was Mary buried? So the answer would be, Mary was buried beside the sea along the sands of Dee. And the fifth and the last question is, what do the boatmen hear even today across the sands of Dee? So the boatmen hear Mary's voice calling the cattle home across the sands of Dee. Now next is your think and answer. So the first question is, and call the cattle home. Why do you think the speaker repeats this line? So the answer would be, the speaker repeats this line because Mary had been asked to bring home the cattle, and that's why she went near the sea and got drowned. Second question is, the speaker uses the word foam 3 times in stanza 4. Why does he do this? So the answer would be, the speaker used the word foam 3 times in stanza 4 to depict that how deadly and violent the tides could be. They could be really merciless and cruel. Next is appreciating the poem. Read the poem aloud. While you do it, identify the rhyme scheme of the poem. Try to read it in the same rhythm. So the rhyme scheme is A A A B A C. Here you can see in the poem, if you look at the say first stanza, the last word of each line. So in first line it's home, second line it's home, third line it's home, and fourth is D. Fourth is different, and fifth is again rhyming with first, second, and third, and the last line is also different. So it's A A A B A C. Okay. Next is, what is the feeling that the poem conveys? So the poem Sands of Dee conveys the feeling of sadness. Mary leaves home alone, calling out to the cattle but never returns. Later, a group of fishermen discover that she had drowned in the sea and bring her to the shore. She was buried beside the sea. Next is your vocabulary part. Pick out words from the poem that you associate with a storm. So western wind was wild. These words can be associated with a storm. Second is the rising tide. So the western tide crept up. Okay. Third is images of death. So you can write drowned maiden's hair. And fourth is sadness. So you can write grave. Next is find the words in the poem that mean the same as these words. First is a shout. So here you can write call. Okay. Next is dark. There is no such word which is similar as dark, but here you can write dank. Okay. C is not tame, so you can write here wild. D is solitary, you can write alone. E is wave, here you can write tide. And F is wild grass, here you can write weed. W-E-E-D, weed. Okay, here's an activity for you. A ballad is a poem that tells a story. So this poem is a ballad actually. In your own words, tell your partner the sad story of Mary and the sands of D. You may begin by saying, once upon a time there was a girl who lived close to the sea. So this activity you are supposed to do it on your own. So just narrate the whole story that we have read in this poem, and just do all the question answers and the book exercise as well as this activity in your fair notebook, and submit your homework by 3 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you for watching this video.